What's up guys, Todd here, and I'm here to talk about the final Super Smash Bros. Video presentation. Now this is the first time I've ever done a video alone, so bear with me, hopefully it'll be fun. But I just figured, well, we started Smash Talk and all this crazy talk about the ballot together, we might as well finish it together. So yeah, let's just get right into it for the final video presentation. And first off, let's start off with Cloud, because I actually didn't do a Cloud video. How do I feel about Cloud? Kind of indifferent, honestly. I'm not a Final Fantasy fan. Not to say that I don't like the franchise. I've never really played it except maybe like 15 to 20 hours of Final Fantasy 13. Which I heard, by many people, that's not the best Final Fantasy to start off with the franchise. But I'm just not interested in really in Final Fantasy at all. And man, I guess Cloud is kind of cool. He's okay. I mean, he's a sword wielder, and some people say, well, he's different, or try to make up some type of excuse that he's different, but he's still a sword fighter, and and I don't know. I'm still kind of indifferent about it, but I feel like he's kind of a waste, in my opinion. A lot of people say, well, he's kind of like Sony's icon for PlayStation 2, one of the biggest consoles to ever come out, ever. Is the PlayStation 2, and Cloud is right up there. He's one of the faces of PlayStation 2. So a lot of people think that this is a really big deal, and I guess it is. But for someone like me who never grew up a Final Fantasy or a PlayStation 2, I'm just kind of like, I don't really. I mean, to be honest, I don't want Cloud. I don't really care, I guess is is my final answer. So yeah, indifferent. And then the next character up, which they introduced and they started off the video with, was Corrin from from Fire Emblem Fates, which is interesting. It's kind of like the first point for my final argument for the whole video, but we'll get to that later. Corrin himself, I mean, he seems kind of cool, but he seems a lot more, I don't know, I guess direct rather than Robin, which he kind of seems to have mid-range, long-range attacks with his magic, while Corrin uses his chainsaw sword. So I guess there's a little bit different there, but again, he's another sword wielder. Sure, he looks different, or rather his move set is kind of different, but still, I mean, I love Fire Emblem. Let's establish this right now. If you've seen my other videos, you know I love Fire Emblem. I cannot wait for Fire Emblem Fates. And I hate the fact that they're splitting up the versions into multiple different ones, but I'm still getting the collector's edition to get all of them. But really, another Fire Emblem character? Why? That's the only word I can come up with. Why? Why do we have another Fire Emblem character? I guess the only thing I can think of is that they didn't want to miss the opportunity to pretty much plug this new Fire Emblem, because they know, and we all know, the next Smash is gonna, Corrin and them aren't gonna be relevant when the next Smash is out. By then there'll probably be another Fire Emblem out by then. So this was, I guess, their only chance to get him in there. And honestly, I would actually say to anybody, I do think Corrin is in there just as an advertisement for Fire Emblem Fates. Some people might be like, oh, well, he looks cool, and, he can turn into a dragon, which, admittedly, it's cool. At least there's some uniqueness in there as compared to other sword fighters. But in the end, I'm just, really? Really? Come on now. I'm a Fire Emblem fan, and I'm very glad that, the West is now really understanding what Fire Emblem is and is getting excited for not only when Awakening was a smashing success, but now Fates is coming in, and, everybody, well, not really everybody, but more and more people now know what Fire Emblem is and are willing to give this one a chance. So if this one is really good, I really think Fire Emblem is going to hit its stride in the West. And then, they'll just go from there, which is great. It really is. I really like the fact that more JRPGs like Fire Emblem are becoming more popular in the West. That is fantastic. But I just don't really like his inclusion in Smash Brothers, because it just feels like, like a waste, honestly. That's really the only thing that I can come up with, is that it just feels like a waste. Like, I could think of a plethora of other characters that would be better suited for this, just because I want like a more, what I wanted from all this was like this really special, unique thing of all these characters that really normally don't have a chance to get in Smash Brothers. This Fire Emblem character definitely has a chance to become, to be in Smash Brothers without any type of ballot or petition or whatever. But characters that were voted for in the ballot that were, prominent front runners, that's what I feel like these final spots are for, because Sakurai did say that all, like, the rest of the slots were for fan service slots. Now, honestly, is this a fan service thing? No, it is not by any means. Cloud is. Yes, Cloud is definitely a fan service thing, which I still kind of wish he wasn't in it because I'm not a Final Fantasy fan, but whatever. But, I love Fire Emblem, but this was such an unnecessary character. I'm pretty disappointed. So, and then next up was the Mii costumes, which they introduced a plethora of Mii costumes. And this was before the Smash Ballot winner. So, of course, everybody knows I was praying for Shantae to be in there. So I was just thinking, please, please, please do not let there be a Shantae Mii costume. There was a Geno Mii costume, though, which a lot of people were really, really, surprised at, and actually I think they liked it because obviously that's really the only thing they could get since Geno did not win the Smash Ballot. So I guess at the end, at the beginning of all this, we all thought the Mii costume was like the end, or it was this terrible thing that happened to a character that pretty much confirmed that it wasn't going to be in Smash Brothers. But now that the ballot is ended, Mii costumes have kind of turned into a good thing. They've turned into something that's like, Nintendo's like, yeah, we see you, Mario JRPG or Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars, that game all the way back from forever ago, and same with a few other crazy characters that were put into the game. But so that's what kind of Mii costumes turned into, were these things that kind of represented these less known franchises. So at least it's Nintendo kind of acknowledging that they exist. There was a Tails one, which is funny. There was a Knuckles one, which was funny, which I guess is okay, but obviously we knew those guys wouldn't get in there. There's a few other odd franchises in there. One of them, which I think actually had to say, not available in North America. And there was Ashley. Ashley was introduced, which is cool. Which, unfortunately, I wish she was an actual character, because I think it'd be really cool to play as her. But, hey, at least she got a costume, and I believe, yes, she definitely is an assist trophy. So she's getting some recognition there, which is nice. But yeah, that's an interesting point that I definitely wanted to bring up, was the fact that Mii costumes have kind of turned into this positive thing. It's an acknowledgement from Nintendo. So finally, let's move into the last bit here, which is the Smash Ballot winner, Bayonetta. Oh boy, where do I start with this one? For myself, I don't hate the character Bayonetta. That hate is a very, very strong word. I do not hate Bayonetta. Her games look really, really, really cool. But for her to be the finals, I guess the winner of the Smash Ballot, I'm a little not happy about it. I guess simply because, I had another character in mind, but she was also the only one. A lot of people, and not even a lot of people, I would say everybody was suspecting there to be at least more than one Smash Ballot winner. But Sakurai, as soon as he said, now here's the winner, and this is the only one. So as soon as he said that, I said to myself, oh, shit. Because I knew if there was only one, that my character that I wanted in, Shantae, would more than likely seal her fate of not being in the game. But when I did see her, I was not too happy. But what can you do? The more I look at her, the more I see videos of her, she looks like a fun character to play in Smash. And honestly, it did really surprise me that they got her in there. Good for Nintendo, I guess, being able to get this risque character inside this game that is generally meant for the younger audiences, or at least in a console that is mainly targeted towards that kind of audience. It's really targeted towards everybody, but they've got to be careful, really. But good for them. Bayonetta looks fun. I think every character trailer makes a character look overpowered. Every single one. Like, Palutena is a great example. Everybody and their mother was terrified of her when they first showed the trailer because everyone thought she was just overpowered. But now it comes to, she's actually playable, and she's not very good at all, unfortunately, unless she's in the right hands. She totally needs to be buffed, but that's a whole other topic. Thing is that, yeah, she did look overpowered, but we'll definitely see in the future. And it's cool that they got Bayonetta 2's Bayonetta 2 and the original Bayonetta designs in both. So that's definitely very cool. And then let's go to the results of the ballot. They said in Europe she was number 1. Really? Like, that really takes me by surprise. Like, I did not see Europe loving Bayonetta that much. The next thing is that she was top 5 in the US. Okay. So she was top 5 in the US, and then I'm expecting to say that she was like top 5 in Japan. Well, Japan and Asia, for that matter, was never ever mentioned. No, only the US and Europe was mentioned in the video, which I kind of found a little odd. I mean, because let's be frank here, these are Japanese developers, and Japan always takes the opinion of Japan or the people and fans in Japan first. They always have priority for everything. Some people might say otherwise, but honestly, I believe that's always the case. Not even just in video games, but in anime or what have you. It's all about Japan and then everybody else. So I thought that kind of struck me as a little bit odd, as they didn't mention them at all. Another thing is that they did say, I guess, realizable characters. So that means like characters like Goku, Shrek, and other really, really stupid choices, were just immediately thrown out the window. What I kind of want to know is why, I don't know how to put it really. Like, where are the other top 4 US characters? Or at least, yeah, the other top 4. Maybe Bayonetta was 3. Maybe Bayonetta was 5. Maybe she was 2, because she was not number 1 in the US. Who was number 1? K. Rool, Shovel Knight. Who are the other ones? Shantae, Waddle Dee, Waluigi, Daisy. The list goes on. Isaac. Why weren't those other characters? Like, what made them decide, well, it's like, well, she was number 1 here, but she was top 5 here. It's like, well, what about those other characters? And who were the top 5 in Europe, for that matter? Who were the top 5 in Japan? So there was just a number of questions that kind of brings up as to, like, what is going on and how they chose, her. Like, I'm just kind of confused. I mean, obviously, in our previous videos, we had talked about hoping that they just don't pick the top choice. We don't, just the one that gets the most votes wins. We definitely don't want that. The other one is that we want to make sure that we want this character to be unique, that we want this character to be definitely a viable character for Smash Brothers rather than just the top voted character. So, like I said, I believe there's a number of questions that need to be, or rather, that have just come up that people are wondering about. Their whole picking process. I mean, the Smash Ballot ended, I believe, late October, and this was just in the middle of December. And, I mean, we all saw how polished she looked. I mean, Bayonetta looked like she was practically done. So that's another thing that kind of adds to the series of questions that people have is, how long have they been working on her? Because a lot of people think, and honestly, myself included, feel like they've been working on her for longer than the Smash Ballot has been done. And I understand that they definitely want to try to make sure that it's a character that's, easier, or rather easy to incorporate in Smash Brothers. That's why they said realizable characters. But I don't know. I mean, with Corrin in there, which is my point that I was bringing up earlier in the video. You've got Corrin, who is an advertisement for Fire Emblem, and then you've got Bayonetta, who was saved by Nintendo, and then now is a Nintendo exclusive game. So to me, I feel like, honestly, that this was all kind of just advertisements for these characters rather than something that was more genuine, where, like Sakurai said, fan service. If we wanted fan service characters, we would have K. Rool in there, a character that hasn't appeared in a Donkey Kong game in quite a while. We would have Shovel Knight in there. We would have Shantae in there. We would have Waddle Dee or something in there, or Waluigi, or Daisy, two Mario characters that are generally in the background. Those are characters that would really not push sales. But I think, with Bayonetta in there, it shows people that she exists, and they're like, oh, hey, look at this character. This character exists. Because I did see tweets and posts from all sorts of websites and forums that people say, who is this? She looks really cool. And this would definitely, in my opinion, boost Bayonetta's sales. Because that's really, Smash is a fantastic outlet for any character for advertisement for their games. Fire Emblem is an example. Star Fox is an example. So on and so forth. So, honestly, that's kind of my feeling about it. It just feels like it was something that was kind of fishy to me. A lot of people, have been laughing not only at me, but other people who have brought up these same points that it seems fishy. Some people are like, well, deal with it, or this, they said she was number 1 here and in top 5 here. And then they said that, she was number 1 in the world, so we really can't argue that. But, some people have gone as far as to say that Nintendo could easily, and they could, it's very true that they could, because no one's ever going to know, that they could, just mess with them, with the results, and just say, hey, this is who it was, deal with it. Because honestly, Bayonetta, in a marketing standpoint, is a fantastic choice. Fantastic choice. They saved the franchise. I heard her sales weren't that fantastic, obviously, because, not everybody who owns a Wii U is going to get this M-rated game, because a lot of them are families. It's true. A lot of them are families. Not to say that all Wii U owners are families with 7-year-old children, but, it's not as big of an audience as Sony or Xbox. So it just kind of poses a lot of questions. Do I believe that she was number 1 in the world? No. I do not believe that by any stretch of the imagination. And again, some people will laugh at me and say, that's ridiculous. You're crazy. You're just biased about your character. Honestly, if we're going to come out, just to be completely honest right now, I knew that Shantae really didn't have much of a chance because she just wasn't that relatively well known. During the Smash Ballot, her game did come out in Japan and was getting relatively decent sales, but she was getting great exposure over there, a place that she had not ever had exposure. So, there's all sorts of now drawings of her, like her art has exploded from Japan now. She's getting way more exposure over there now, thanks to the game release. But honestly, yes, I did know that she really didn't have much of a chance. If I had to choose just 2 or 3 characters that I personally thought were shoo-ins, I would say K. Rool, Shovel Knight, and really, I think that's it. I think Inkling is kind of something that, like, when Splatoon 2 comes out for, like, say, the NX or, and then when the next Smash comes out, I do think Inkling will be a character in the next Smash. I just want to put that on record right now. I do think Inkling will be a Smash character, absolutely, 100% in the next Smash Brothers. But yeah, those are the 2 characters that I really think were shoo-ins, were Shovel Knight and K. Rool. K. Rool had appeal all over the world because we had seen multiple fan polls and whatnot. Not only in just the US, but I've also saw a few in Japan as well, and K. Rool did top those as well. And then there was Shovel Knight, which he had a lot of help from not only, everybody who played the game, but also really, really popular YouTubers were supporting him as well. He was getting his own amiibo. So those are really the 2 that I thought were getting in. But to say Bayonetta is number 1 in the world, it just strikes me as suspicious. I really just don't. I believe she's popular, and I believe she does have a fan base, and I would consider myself part of that, despite me not playing any of her games yet, which I'll get to eventually, I guess, when maybe they get a price cut for from what it is. I mean, it's been out for a while, and it's still almost full price, but I just don't really, I just feel like there's a lack of evidence to say that she is number one in the world, because like people are saying, Nintendo could easily just say, hey, that's what they said, and then they're lying about it. Not to say that Nintendo are lying about it, but honestly, from a marketing standpoint, it makes sense. It just does. And like I said, I would be fine if Bayonetta. Well, I am fine with Bayonetta, but I would be more fine if there was more than one Smash Ballot winner. Because right now, that when it's all said and done, there are 58 fighters. My question is, why not round it out to 60? Some people are like, well, Sakurai's worked really hard. You should stop. And it's like, well, what are 2 more characters going to hurt? I really feel like they should have just rounded it out to 60. Just, to me, it makes sense. Because then we would have had a few more characters in there that wouldn't have had the ability to get in Smash without that ballot. But that's, personally what I just think. So the bottom line about Bayonetta, through all the speculation and all that, how do I feel about her being in Smash? I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent about it. Really, the only character I ever wanted in Smash Brothers was Shantae. Really. I just, that's how much I like her. I did want Inkling in as well, actually, and I do think K. Rool was probably one of my third choice, because I enjoyed Donkey Kong Country when I was a kid. Hell, I still do, years later. Plus, I'm a big Splatoon fan, and, of course, I'm a giant Shantae fan. So, she looks cool. I might buy her, maybe. I'll have to see more videos of her, but like I said, the more I watch her, the more I'm thinking I might buy her. But at the end of the day, there's nothing you can do about it. That's the Smash Ballot. She was the winner. Nothing you can really do. And I think the main reason, not only why I'm stressed out about this, but why other people are stressed out about this, is because there might not be another Smash Ballot to vote for. We might not have the opportunity to get these weird, unique characters in that might not have gotten in before. And unfortunately, for the characters that were put in, like Roy, Ryu, Bayonetta, Cloud, and Corrin, they were, I wouldn't even really classify them as unique or different in terms of character selection. I mean, Fire Emblem is Fire Emblem. Bayonetta, I guess, is kind of up there, and so is Ryu. Ryu is kind of out there, but Ryu was owned by Capcom, and Roy was in it before, and Mewtwo was in Smash before, and Corrin is from Fire Emblem, so he's just there to advertise, and and so on. But I just really feel like we missed out on an opportunity to get more unique characters in there. Shovel Knight, Shantae, K. Rool, Inkling, Isaac, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. You've seen all our Smash Talk videos. But, at the end of the day, they chose who they chose. I'm still kind of disappointed in what they chose, because I feel like there were characters who definitely couldn't get in Smash Brothers, but definitely had the potential to be in Smash Brothers, which is what the ballot was all about. And unfortunately, I don't think we really got those kinds of characters in there. Bayonetta comes kind of close, but not nearly as close as the characters I've listed off before, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, what can you do? I guess all we can do is just sit here and hope maybe for Smash 5 that's going to inevitably be on the NX, there will be another Smash Ballot, and we have another opportunity to get those characters on there. Or perhaps Nintendo sees all these characters we voted for and says, okay, we're going to come out with a bigger, better, stronger console in the next year, and then in a few years we'll have another Smash Brothers. It's going to be 10 times as gorgeous, and they'll have the ability to put more characters on, and characters back on, like Ice Climbers, for example, or what have you. So like I said, at the end of the day, there's nothing you can really do. It's unfortunate, but that's how it goes. That's my thoughts and reaction about the final video presentation for Smash Brothers. It's been a very fun run. It's been very fun to speculate with everybody and, sit and laugh and, talk about all the fun things and possibilities we could have with these characters. We had other Smash podcasts from other people. We had Smashified. It it was very fun, and I thought it brought the entire community closer together. But like I said, that's how it goes. But in the end, we still support our characters and love them, and we can. I think the only thing we can really do is just sit and wait for Smash 5. Give it another 5 years or so. Ugh. But anyway, that's our video, everybody. Rather, that's my video, everybody. Thank you very, 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 very much for watching, and very much for listening to my rather crazy banter about things and how I feel about things. If you liked the video, feel free to like it, or feel free to subscribe if you'd like to see more content. But I think that's it for Smash Brothers from us. Maybe we'll have videos of us testing out the characters. Maybe, it's all just maybe. We just don't know. Only time will tell, but I believe that's it for Smash Brothers for us. So, again, thank you, everybody, so much for watching, so much for supporting us. We greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate your time and attention and interaction. So with that, thanks so much, and I will catch you later. Bye-bye, everybody.